Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Managing Your Asthma. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Melissa Homner. I am a functional medicine health practitioner and lead coach at Sagebrush Wellness. My team and I specialize in providing solutions to clients who are suffering from chronic and autoimmune conditions. The beauty of functional medicine health coaching is that we use a comprehensive strategy that accumulates facts gleaned from testing, symptoms, and health history to get a clear picture of what's going on for each client. Then we get to partner with our clients, lay out next steps, and walk beside them as they navigate putting those steps into action. Because this plan is very dynamic, we can keep in close step with changes that need to be made in the care for each client to optimize the recovery experience. Each of the coaches on our team have overcome their own autoimmune disease. So because of that, we can coach not only from extensive specialized training, but from experience. My team and I provide solutions to autoimmune and chronic illnesses. I'm so glad you're here. We have so much to cover. So let's just dive in. So what is asthma? Asthma is a condition in which airways narrow and swell while producing excess mucus. This makes breathing really difficult, sometimes pretty much impossible, and may trigger coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. For some people, asthma is only a minor nuisance, and for others, it can cause significant problems that interfere with daily activities and can even lead to life-threatening situations. Asthma changes over time, and your reaction to triggers may evolve based on your lifestyle and other environmental factors. Although it's been assumed that there is no cure for asthma, you'll learn during this experience that it is possible to alleviate symptoms and let your body truly recover. So common asthma signs and symptoms include shortness of breath, tightness in the chest, trouble sleeping caused by coughing, wheezing, or inability to breathe comfortably, a whistling or wheezing sound when exhaling, coughing or wheezing attacks that are worsened by respiratory viruses like cold or flu. Your asthma could be getting worse if you experience any of the following. Symptoms are more frequent and bothersome than usual. You need to reach for your inhaler more often. If you're not sure, go to your doctor and ask to use a peak flow meter. That's a device used to check out how well your lungs are working. Seek emergency treatment if you don't feel relief after using an inhaler. If you're experiencing shortness of breath while doing minimal activities or exercise, or if your symptoms are rapidly getting worse, please, please, please don't hesitate to go in and get help if you need it. The medical term for an asthma attack triggered by physical activity is exercise-induced bronchoconstriction, which induces narrowing of airways, but isn't a root cause of asthma. While 90% of people with asthma suffer from exercise-induced bronchoconstriction, the condition can occur in people without asthma as well. Among people who live with asthma, exercise is just one of the several factors that may trigger breathing difficulties. Symptoms begin during or soon after exercise and may last for 1 hour or longer if left untreated. Several factors can worsen asthma symptoms, including cold air, dry air pollution, chlorine in swimming pools, chemicals used with ice rink resurfacing equipment, activities with extended periods of long breathing, such as long distance running, swimming, or soccer. Occupational asthma has become the most common work-related lung disease in developed countries, and it's caused by inhaling fumes, gases, dust, or other potentially harmful substances while on the job. Stress can be a real factor here as well. The exact number of newly diagnosed cases of asthma due to occupational exposure is unknown, but up to 15% of asthma cases in the US may be job-related. Irritants in high doses that are most likely to trigger occupational asthma include hydrochloric acid, sulfur dioxide, or ammonia. Additionally, workers in the washing powder industry may develop a sensitivity to the enzymes in the Bacillus subtilis, while bakers may develop symptoms from exposure to various flours or baking enzymes. Also, if you're a smoker, you're at a much higher risk for developing occupational asthma. Asthma and allergies have a lot in common, besides making you feel really crummy. People with a history of allergies are more likely to develop occupational asthma, particularly with exposure to substances such as flour, animals, and latex. Even if you don't have a history of allergies, you can still develop allergy-induced asthma if you're exposed to conditions that trigger your symptoms. In some people, skin or food allergies can cause asthma symptoms. Moreover, many of the things that trigger allergies can also trigger asthma. Are you beginning to see a pattern here? An allergic response occurs when the immune system antibodies mistakenly identify an otherwise harmless substance as an invader, right? This is part of your body really kicking in and wanting to protect you. As a reaction, your antibodies attack the substances as a means to try and protect you and create chemicals that create symptoms like nasal congestion, runny nose, and itchy skin. Excuse me. For some people, this same reaction also affects the lungs and airways, which leads to asthma symptoms. Asthma triggers can vary from person to person, but some of the most common triggers include airborne substances such as pollen, dust, mold, pet dander, or particles of insect waste. Respiratory infections such as a common cold. Physical activity, cold air, smoke. Certain medications such as beta blockers, please hear me on this. Beta blockers, aspirin, ibuprofen, which also includes Advil and Motrin, and Aleve. Strong emotions such as stress. Sulfates and preservatives commonly used in foods and beverages such as shrimp, dried fruit, processed potatoes, beer, and wine. Also, gastrointestinal issues such as acid reflux or GERD, a condition in which the stomach acid backs up into your throat, or that's what it feels like. Oh my goodness, I could explain so much more about this, but I don't have time in this class. Experts now believe that people living with asthma tend to breathe faster and less deeply than people with healthy lungs, and may tend to breathe through their mouths. By training your body to breathe differently, you can help your lungs get deeper, more nourishing air. So just as a side note, often I see changes in people's blood work with how much actual oxygen content is in their blood. And this can actually be a driver for some a very broad base of autoimmune conditions. So try some different deep breathing techniques. There's all different kinds out there. One is diaphragmatic breathing. One is yogic breathing. Another one is pursed lip breathing, or the progressive relaxation technique. These are all things that you can look up online. They're very easy to learn. There's usually videos that really help you understand how to do these well. So I want to just lean into some things that can begin to help you, right? So one of the primary inflammation causing fats is polyunsaturated fatty acid, and it's found usually in processed foods and in almost all processed foods, right? Like your body doesn't know how to break this down. One German study examined 524 children and found that asthma was more prevalent in children with high levels of this acid. So one strategy to reduce levels of this acid is to increase levels of omega-3 fatty acids. So the easiest way to ensure you're getting the right amount of omegas is to take a supplement. Otherwise, be sure that you're eating plenty of foods like dark leafy greens, fish, and walnuts. It's so much more fun to eat real food than try to take a supplement, but some people have trouble getting enough in their diet, so a supplement is helpful. It is critical to get to the root cause of conditions instead of just treating the symptoms. Please hear me. If you have asthma, your diet could be putting stress on your immune system, worsening your asthma symptoms. And I want to talk into this just a little bit deeper here because we're hitting a really high level overview today. And asthma can also be a result of bacterial imbalances in the body, damage from mold exposure. This is a big, big one. Also a direct result of inflammation in the body, right? So remember back to what we were talking about. What is asthma? What actually is it? It's inflammation, right? So when we figure out where the inflammation drivers are in the body and we're able to address those, many times the asthma just clears away. So back to what I was talking about, there are other drivers as well. But to figure these things out, we would need to do some targeted testing and evaluation to discover the root cause or causes for your asthma. If you've tried everything you can think of and your asthma is still bad, please book in with me for a consultation and let's see what we can uncover for you. So to do that, go to www.sagebrushwellness.com and use the schedule button to put something in my calendar. So this next little section is just some steps that you can do yourself, right? So here are some simple steps you can take on your own. By participating in an elimination diet, you'll be able to discover whether food is triggering your symptoms or not, and then make the changes to rebalance and strengthen your immune system as needed. So an elimination diet, there are tons of instructions online, but if you don't want to do a whole elimination diet, then this is what I would suggest. Absolutely cut out gluten and dairy. These are the most common causes of inflammation. But yeast can also be to blame. So to be able to actually take care of that, it would require completely eliminating sugar. So if you want to do this on your own and you're not wanting to do the whole elimination diet, cut out gluten, dairy, and sugar, hardcore. And I think you'll be really, really impressed with how you feel as a result. It's also been found that people with asthma can have low levels of magnesium. This mineral plays a role in opening up the bronchial tubes and improving airflow. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals to be able to have correct use of all the smooth muscles in the body, right? That's your lungs, that's your heart, that's your digestive system, the smooth muscles in your body. While more research is still needed on the use of oral magnesium supplementation and asthma management, it can be really helpful. I would love to help you find the right type and amount of magnesium that is right for you. Once again, if you want to book in with me, go to sagebrushwellness.com and just use the Schedule Now button. I also want to suggest that you visit a chiropractor, right? Correct spinal alignment and the full range of spinal joint motion helps to support proper nervous system functioning. When the spine is misaligned or not moving well, it can negatively impact your body's ability to handle irritants that it would otherwise be able to handle very well. Because stress can also be a factor in asthma attacks, when clients come to me, a lot of what we do is work on learning stress management techniques, as well as working through trauma that is trapped in your muscle memory. While chiropractors don't treat asthma specifically, they do look at the body as a whole and can adjust the spine to better support the lungs and bronchial tubes. Let's talk about mold. Mold can be a really, really big driver for asthma. So mold spores can get into your nose and cause allergies, and they can also reach the lungs and trigger asthma. Over time, asthma can worsen with prolonged exposure to mold. Because of my work with autoimmune conditions, this can be a real dynamic for some people. So just if you want to do some more research on it, please do look up mold toxicity. All right, so you can reduce mold in the spaces that you live and work in by ensuring that the central air conditioning has a certified asthma and allergy friendly filter. Change those when you're supposed to, right? Lowering the amount of humidity in your home by using a humidifier, a dehumidifier. Paying close attention to bathrooms, basements, and laundry areas where mold can thrive. So just a quick note here back, again, talking about mold toxicity. If mold toxicity is actually in your body, it can be causing high levels of symptoms that can be seemingly unrelated. It's a dynamic that is possible to reverse, but needs to be done mindfully and carefully as to not put stress on the other parts of the body as the detox process is happening. All right, by recording your asthma symptoms in a diary or a notebook, you'll be able to see how well your treatments are controlling your condition. A number of outdoor allergens and irritants can trigger asthma attacks, ranging from pollen and mold to cold air and pollution. Once you start taking note of when and where your asthma flares up, you'll be better able to understand your body and prepare for attacks before they hit. If you want to actually recover and want me to help you with that, please schedule in with me. Pay attention if things are getting worse. You know that your asthma is under control if you have symptoms no more than 2 days a week, and those symptoms won't wake you from sleep more than once or twice a month. You can do all your normal activities. You can take quick relief medication no more than 2 days a week. You have no more than 1 asthma attack per year that requires you to take corticosteroids by mouth. Your peak flow doesn't drop below 80% of your personal best number. Every person living with asthma should work with their health professionals to create a personal asthma attack plan or an action plan. This plan will include your daily treatments as well as to identify when it's necessary to call your doctor or go to the emergency room. This is really key when a child has asthma, right? If you want to understand what is driving the asthma in your body, this is where I can really help you. We are going to wrap it up. So take a moment to go over your notes and think of any questions or comments you have about the materials we've covered. And actually, I'm going to send these links out to you via email after the class so that you can do some additional research for yourself. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to join me. I absolutely loved getting to share my knowledge with you and hope that each of you have learned something valuable during this experience. I'm going to also upload this class to YouTube. So if there's someone in your life that you feel this information could be really helpful to, please feel free to share that with them. If you have any further questions, please email me at sagebrushwellness.com. My email, there's an email button there, or you can just email me directly at sagebrushwellness@gmail.com. To schedule a consultation, please go to, once again, my website, Sagebrush Wellness, and use the schedule button. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely lovely day. Take care.